At the bottom of the ocean, explorers found something no one was supposed to see, a colossal pyramid, older than history itself. At first, it looked like just another ruin, until they entered. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, their equipment failed, and then, the pyramid began to awaken. What they discovered inside could rewrite human history, or end it forever. Don't miss the next mystery, subscribe now. The discovery beneath the waves. It began not with an explorer or a diver, but with a machine. In 2001, a small team of marine geologists, scanning the seafloor off the coast of a remote archipelago, noticed something unusual. Their sonar equipment was supposed to map smooth slopes and jagged ridges typical of underwater terrain. But this time, the readout displayed straight lines, perfectly measured angles, and a structure too symmetrical to be natural. At first, they assumed it was an equipment error. Nature, after all, rarely builds with right angles. Yet, when they sent the scan through again, the shapes persisted, massive rectangular blocks arranged with geometric precision, as if an entire monument lay hidden just beneath layers of sand and coral. The data suggested something incredible, what appeared to be a pyramid, rising hundreds of feet from the seabed. Word of the discovery spread cautiously. Some dismissed it immediately as pareidolia, humans seeing patterns where none exist. But others, including independent divers, grew curious. Soon, a small team of archaeologists and divers was assembled to investigate. They traveled to the site, battling unpredictable currents and treacherous waters. Equipped with submersible drones, cameras, and lights, they prepared to descend into the deep blue silence. As they reached the site, the team was stunned. There, partially buried in sand and teeming with marine life, stood immense stone steps. Tier upon tier, rising in sharp precision, each block cut so evenly it looked as though machines had carved them. Coral clung to the surface, fish darted between the cracks, and yet the formation's perfection was undeniable. "Nature doesn't do this," whispered one diver through the comms. The deeper they explored, the stranger it became. The pyramid was far larger than anyone imagined, its base stretched wider than 2 football fields. Around it, scattered ruins lay half swallowed by the ocean floor, toppled columns, carved platforms, and walls etched with markings long faded by time. Some of these carvings bore uncanny resemblance to constellations and solar symbols. When samples of the stone were brought back to the surface, they revealed another mystery. The composition didn't match any geological material in the immediate region. It was as if the structure had been transported from somewhere else, or built with knowledge of stoneworking far beyond what was thought possible at the time. But the greatest revelation came when one diver illuminated the pyramid's northern face. Hidden beneath centuries of coral growth was an entrance, a massive doorway sealed shut. Around its edges, still faintly visible, were inscriptions. Strange symbols that seemed both alien and familiar. Some resembled those of ancient civilizations known on land, while others defied categorization altogether. The team had stumbled upon something that threatened to rewrite history. A pyramid, beneath the ocean, in a location where no records of civilization existed. Had it been built by a forgotten culture? Could it be evidence of a sunken city spoken of only in myths, Atlantis, Mu, or Lemuria? As excitement grew, so did unease. Local fishermen spoke in hushed tones of the area being cursed. For generations, they avoided these waters, claiming that strange lights glowed beneath the surface on moonless nights, and that boats which lingered too long never returned. The scientists dismissed these stories as superstition, until the night their equipment began to fail. Radios flickered with static, lights died without warning, and the sonar began emitting strange, rhythmic pulses, almost like a heartbeat coming from the pyramid itself. It was then that one of the drones, circling the entrance, captured something chilling. For a brief moment, the camera feed showed movement. Not fish. Not shifting sand. But a shadow, tall and upright, passing just beyond the sealed doorway. When the footage was reviewed later, half the team refused to believe it. Yet others could not shake the feeling that something still lived inside. Something ancient. Something that had been waiting in silence beneath the waves. And as storms gathered overhead, the team prepared to do the unthinkable. They would open the doorway. Secrets of the Submerged Pyramid. The following morning, the divers descended again, determined to breach the sealed doorway. Using specialized tools, they began clearing away centuries of coral and sediment. The stone surface was harder than expected, resistant to drills and chisels alike. It was almost as if the structure didn't want to be opened. Hours turned into days. Just as the team considered abandoning the attempt, the doorway gave way with a low, resonating crack. A gust of bubbles erupted, and an icy current surged outward. Something long trapped inside was finally being released. When the team's lights pierced the darkness beyond, they discovered a corridor leading deep into the pyramid. The walls were lined with carvings, vast murals depicting towering figures, celestial alignments, and what appeared to be maps of the stars. One diver gasped, pointing out constellations that matched the night sky thousands of years ago. Whoever built this pyramid had knowledge of astronomy far beyond their time. The deeper they swam, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. Strange humming vibrations resonated through the water, rattling their equipment and echoing in their bones. The pyramid felt alive. In the central chamber, they found something extraordinary, a massive chamber filled with rows of colossal stone sarcophagi, each sealed tight. They seemed untouched for millennia. But one stood open. Inside lay not bones, but something far stranger, a crystalline tablet, glowing faintly, as if powered by some unknown energy source. As they examined it, the tablet activated. Holographic images burst forth, shimmering even underwater. The divers froze as they watched scenes unfold, scenes that seemed to depict the rise and fall of an ancient civilization. Cities glittering with light. Flying vessels soaring above oceans. And then, catastrophe. Enormous waves swallowing entire coastlines. Fire from the skies. Finally, the survivors loading knowledge into the pyramid before abandoning it to the sea. The divers realized with horror, this was not merely a tomb. It was a vault. A warning. Suddenly, the pyramid began to tremble. The waters churned violently, and the strange humming grew into a roar. Lights flickered, and their instruments went dead. Something had been triggered. One diver swore they heard whispers in the water, voices speaking in a language no one could understand. Another claimed to see shapes moving in the shadows, tall and thin, with glowing eyes. Panic set in. The team scrambled for the exit, their oxygen running low. They barely escaped as the pyramid began to emit a low, pulsating light visible from the surface. The ocean boiled around it, and the currents shifted violently. It was as if the structure was awakening. Back on the ship, the surviving team members argued about what to do. Some wanted to report everything, believing humanity had uncovered proof of an ancient, advanced civilization. Others warned that whatever they had activated should never be made public. That night, as the storm raged above, the ocean around the pyramid glowed faintly with an eerie blue light. Fishermen on distant shores reported seeing columns of light piercing the waves, rising into the sky. And then, silence. The pyramid sank once more into darkness, its secrets buried, its warnings unheeded. To this day, no official record acknowledges the pyramid's existence. Some say the government covered it up. Others whisper that the site is still active, guarded, and watched. But those who were there know the truth: humanity opened something that was never meant to be touched. And beneath the ocean, in the silent black depths, the pyramid still waits.